When are these globalists and their tontos, their lackeys, when are they going to realize that the more aggressive they act towards us, the more arrogant they act towards us, the more threatening they act towards us, the more disgusting and revolting they behave, the bigger the push against them, courtesy of we the people, is going to be? When are they going to realize that? I mean, you got this Greta Thunberg over here, and I've tried to refrain from speaking about this girl because, it seems that every time Arana Nation talks about another crazy broad out there, Meghan Markle being one of the big ones, people come up and have this idea that I'm threatened by women. I mean, I talk about men all the time. Justin the Tack-Headed Tar-Faced Swiftfoot Mac Daddy Trudeau is no exception. But this girl, I have to speak out about her because I've been watching her quietly for a while now, and it's come to me that her behavior, her attitude, her arrogance, and just her demeanor in general is very, very concerning. Here's a girl who skipped school, who hasn't been in school in years now, who is probably never going to get any form of education, who's running around the world acting like a street thug. Now, I have nothing against street thuggery if it's done for a noble cause. And I would say that, yes, environmentalism is a noble cause if it's done in a right way and if you're advocating for right principles. I act sometimes tough myself. When it comes to upholding the populist revolution, your commander-in-chief, he'll go out. You think Greta's bad? I mean, the Viking and the black man. The black man's going to win. I'm telling you, the black man who is concerned about freedom in the world and populism and spreading the populist revolution, the Viking's going to get torn up. I'm going to tell you that right now, especially if the Viking is a tool of the globalists. But she's now had to apologize for saying that she thinks that politicians who don't submit to her solutions for climate change should be put up against a wall. And it wasn't even a real apology here now. She is saying that in her language, in Swedish, or whatever they speak over there, when you say put up against a wall is translated into, trying to get people's attention. They should be get our attention. But if it indeed, whatever she said, translates into put up against a wall, I can tell you that in any language, I don't care if it's Sweden, German, Hindi, Garifuna, Patois, I don't care what it is, anywhere, if you go to anyone on the face of this planet and say, you need to be put up against a wall, they're going to think that you're threatening them. Anywhere in this world, from history, from time immemorial, people who were sentenced to death, traitors, people who were sentenced to the firing squad, were put up against a wall to be shot. And now she's out there, she has this demeanor about her. Her face will, contort up and get angry and sweaty when she's angry and she's, she doesn't feel threatened and she'll, act in such an aggressive thug life manner. And I don't even think I should say thug life, because I say in this day and age, in this war for globalism versus populism, thug life is a badge of honor. When you get a thug life video, have you ever seen those thug life videos? That's a form of honor. That's a badge of honor. Greta is I think she's the precedent in all of this. She's being led astray. I mean, she's like the Hitler Youth. She looks like the Hitler Youth. One of them Aryan white girls out there in Europe, the blonde pigtails, blue eyes, she looked like one of those Nazi propaganda posters. And that's exactly what the globalists are doing now. They're the Nazis, and they're using uneducated, unschooled children like Greta, taking them out of school, and posting them on the poster saying, this is what we aspire you to be, a crazy nut who doesn't know what she's talking about. Now, she's apologizing. She said, oh, it was translated differently. Okay, fine, you apologize. I still don't think it's a real apology, so therefore I can't accept it. I mean, you want to put the politicians to the wall. Next thing she's going to say is she's going to put us to the wall for not submitting to her. Come over here, Greta, and put me to a wall. I'm not attacking Greta. I'm not, God forbid, I don't have time to attack Greta. I don't feel any ways towards Greta. She was named Person of the Year. That's fine. That's Time Magazine's business. I don't care about that. People are like, how could Time do this? Who cares? It's their paper. They can do what they want. But here's what concerns me. There are a few people out there who would think that this person is a hero. The one thing I didn't like is when she came to my country, Canada, and tell us how we should live. Who is this Viking here coming to Canada and telling me what we should do in my country? Get the hell back to Sweden where you belong. Don't tell us how we should live. And if you're going to preach to a country about the environment, why don't you go to China or India or even America? I mean, I think America has improved, to be honest with you. But, I mean, what the hell are you doing here in Canada? I mean, we're one of the cleanest nations in the world. Our oil is ethically drilled. I mean, give me a break. You're here and you're bullying the people in the West who don't even have that many oil jobs left. Go on back to where you come from. Let us deal with our problems here. Now, I'm an environmentalist. I have no bones about saying that. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not a climate denier. I admit that though I don't agree wholeheartedly with the Al Gores of the world who say that the ice is going to melt in this amount of time, because they've been saying this forever now, and some scientists have actually said that the ice is growing. But I do believe that there will be hell to pay if we just slaughter the Amazon without replanting those trees, having, carbon and stuff all over the place like that. And, we don't want to, the last thing we need, and I'm from Toronto, okay? So I know what smog days are. I've seen smog days. Back in the early 2000s, smog days, you miss a whole week of school, whole 2 weeks of school because of smog days. We don't get so much of them anymore. Those things are a reality. Those things are a real reality. And thank God that, people are trying to work that people have worked to stop those things. But, I mean, even China, they have to wear masks and stuff because, the air is so bad. Those things are real and they need to be dealt with. So I am an environmentalist. But when you come to me and you tell me now that I have to pay an extra $4 for groceries, an extra $1 on bus fare, to TTC fare, train fare, subway fare, because the carbon tax has gone into effect, which means prices go up, a transit fare goes up, and the carbon tax is meant to stop the polluters. But when we know that our globalist government has already made tons of very bad trade deals, which allow these polluters to move to other countries, especially China, which a lot of them are doing, even without a trade deal, where they can emit even more carbon into the atmosphere without having to pay any carbon tax, I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to hear you. When you, Greta Thunberg, tell me that I have to stop eating meat to save the planet, when people have been eating meat for thousands of years, and not only that, but animals, lions, tigers, all these different mammals have been eating meat for thousands of years and will continue to eat meat. You're going to go tell the lion he shouldn't eat meat? Go on and go tell the lion he can't eat meat. He's going to eat the same meat, and he's going to doo-doo out the same feces, which is going to be carbon. It's going to happen. When you tell me ridiculous things like that, I don't want to listen to you. Now, if we sit down and we talk about the fact that, we need to replant the Amazon. If you're going to chop down trees, you have to replant one. or two, or if you tell me, yes, we can replace fossil fuel with biofuels, which creates even more jobs, especially for communities and countries and regions that don't have oil or gas, like I'm here in Ontario, okay? Alberta has always led this country because of oil and all this stuff like that. If you replace fossil fuel with biofuels, not only Alberta, but Ontario and Quebec and all these places can thrive off of energy. You can do, bio is everywhere, okay? If you want to talk to me about that, that's fine. You want to talk about replacing concrete, which is bad for the environment, with hempcrete, that's fine. You can talk to me all you want, but don't talk to me about carbon taxes. Don't talk to me about green belts, which are useless, because how can you have one piece of land in a huge country like Canada where no development is allowed, even though there is development still being done in the green belt as well, and then the rest of the place, these foreign, international, mostly Asian construction real estate companies are just building houses that are so tiny and close together and go wild over. How does that make sense? Don't talk to me about that. All right? So these are the things we can talk about. It can be done. We can all come together. I mean, sensible, intelligent, superior logic individuals can come and talk about this stuff. But when you talk about ridiculousness, which we all know that it's all just the globalists who are trying to take more of our money, more of our freedom, more of our land, not because they care about the environment, but because it enriches them, it makes them more powerful, and it makes them weaker. That's the only reason why we're having this environmental discussion. I guarantee you, if climate, global warming, whatever you want to call it, was in no way, solving it was in no way beneficial to the globalists, to make them more powerful, we would not be having this discussion. There would be no Greta. She'd be in school where she belongs. There'd be none of this. There'd be no inconvenient truth. There'd be no Al Gore. There'd be none of it. None of it. None of it. And the world could burn to hell for all the globalists care. They'd probably go off in their secret spacecraft and fly to their secret Martian colonies, which who knows what's going on up there. So, but the most important thing is that, even if you want to disregard everything I've just said, for Greta to come out here now and act all aggressive and nasty and, I'm going to scratch your eyes out and put you against the wall. I'm going to kill you if you don't do what I say. People aren't afraid of Greta. Who's afraid of Greta? Who the hell is afraid of Greta? Listen, I tell many people, every time I look at her, she reminds me of a girl who is possessed, who has the seed of Satan in her, who would take a fork and jab it in your hand at the dinner table, if you did not do exactly what she said. Something is wrong with her. If she wants to spread her message, she needs to do it in a very intellectually superior way. None of this whole street thuggeriness. And I'm not bashing street thuggeriness, but she's a tool of the globalists who are on the losing side, who are on the side of evil, who are on the side of control, who are on the side of theft, who are on the side of sin, and they're being defeated, and she's their lackey. So for her to act like a thug, for them, when the public knows who they are, she's just digging herself a grave. Pick a good side, pick a responsible side. You come out to the Arana Nation, Greta. We can talk about the environment in a decent, sensible way that doesn't involve these globalists who are having you on a lead. You're just like the Hitler Youth, and you look like them too, Greta. I ain't attacking you. I'm giving you, as a seasoned, mature, older, and wiser individual, some advice. You need to stop what you're doing. Join the path of good. If you want to help the environment and clean up God's planet, of course, go. I'm with you. Yay and amen. But don't do it on the leash of the globalists, and stop acting like a aggressive, crazy, scary person, because you're not scary in the least. This is the Arana Nation.